Well, we knew this was going to be a really tough game because the ACC this is what it's all about, and we knew we had to play great defense. We really did a good job of half-court defense. Where they were killing us was, I believe they were 12 out of 16 or 12 out of 17 on the fast break. And one of the reasons why is Nana was working his butt off on the offensive glass, and the other guy would take off, and our other players didn't help Nana on Thomas. So we learned an awful lot, and I told Damien, I said, look, Damien, if you were on the other team, I would choreograph all our defenses to stop you. And you didn't understand that. It's like Michael Jordan playing a basketball game. He never showed him all his stuff in the first quarter. He got all the other guys the ball, and then he became an assassin in the second, third, and fourth quarter. And he was trying too hard, and he's got to learn that. I thought he learned it from Puerto Rico when he scored 30 points to one night. And the guys all came up to me, the national team, and said, Versailles said, I got him tonight. And then the other guy said, Richard Cheney, I got him when you come out of the game. I don't think he scored but 4 points in the game. And I said, you already learned that from Puerto Rico. You got to move without the basketball and get other guys shots in order to open it up for you. But I thought Nano played a terrific game tonight, gave us a big lift. I thought Donovan Mitchell's really, really improving, getting better. And this is going to be a tough league this year because Wake Forest is no longer rebuilding. They're there. Any team that beats UCLA, Arkansas, LSU on the road, Indiana, you know, and listening to some of the comments, I said, now you don't understand. I said to one person, do you understand who they beat? And they said, no, they didn't beat those guys. I said, yes, they got 5 road wins. So they're a good basketball team. We're very excited about the victory. We know next week we got to play much better to get a road victory.
Rick, this is the first time that Nanu's played 30 minutes and he ended up with 37. How much is his ability to avoid fouls going to influence how you do this season?
Well, he blocked 4 shots tonight, but his fouls, Tim, have been offensive fouls. It's moving screens. You see how many moving screens they call. And, you know, it's like when you teach guys deny defense, you know, the coach gets up, you'll see it some more at the high school level, deny, 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 and then he gets beat back door, and the coach yells, why are you getting beat back door? Well, it's the same thing with screening. If the coach will yell, screen, 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 take the man out, you can no longer do that with these rules. You can no longer go take the man out. You've got to be a statue, and it's up to the guy using the screen. If he's a man without the ball, he's got to run directly at the screen. If he's using a pick and roll, he's got to cross over and use the screen. The slightest movement like this, if you move a little bit, is an offensive foul, and Jalen got one there, and I believe somebody else at the top got one.
How does that affect your ability to?
Well, we just work with him. We told him, I said, 60% of you, he played a great game tonight. You know, I don't think in the past he could play 37 minutes from a conditioning standpoint. But he played that guy's left hand. He played excellent defense. We had a double-down scheme, but they spread the floor, and we couldn't get to it, and he did a good job on that young man. That young man's as tough a player to guard as there is in the country. Last year, if he would have made his free throws, he would have had 40 points on us.
After they tied it up, what was the difference in your team to be able to close it out and to beat them?
Made our free throws and played excellent defense. In the half court, we were great defensively. Transition-wise, we got hurt.
Coach, it seemed like down the stretch of the game, about 4.5 minutes, Snyder got back into the game and really got good looks for the offense. Did you like his production tonight?
Yeah, I think the more Q says, if I score, so what? If I don't score, so what? And doesn't even care about that, just shoots it when he's open and just makes the team better. I think we have a special point guard. The more he presses about whether the ball goes in, the less we have. So I have to tell you guys and ladies, I put that on my website because of the injury, because I thought it was so horrific stepping on that, rolling it. And I didn't want to think you thought I was posturing, but the reason I put it on the website is he says, I'm going to try my best to play. And his ankle was swollen, and Fred just came up to me prior to that and said, it's worse than honest, but he'll come back for NC State. And I said, okay. I said, let me put this on the website so everyone doesn't think I'm playing this situation. So then when you watched it, and then it came up, Fred came in right before walkthrough and said, I said, Fred, if he's not at least 90%, I don't want to play him. He's got to be 90%. He said, he's 60%. I said, okay, he's not playing. Now we go down to walkthrough, and they're stretching, and both Fred and him come up and says, Coach, I don't want to listen to the percentage. I'm playing. I said, if you're 60%, I can't have you. He said, I'm 100%. I'm playing. And I was shocked at that because his ankle's bad. It's swollen pretty bad. And he showed me, I've been 8 years in the pros, a long time in college, and that showed me something because his ankle wasn't ready to play. And you wouldn't have known it tonight. You wouldn't have known it. Pretty tough kid. Pretty special.
Rick, what'd you see out of Jalen tonight and giving him minutes when, you know, the game's pretty close at the end? Was that a matchup thing, or what'd you see out of him?
Neither guy's a very good foul shooter. Jalen, although we came out of the timeout and I said, Jalen, remember Kentucky now. I don't care if he's 15 feet behind the line. I want you to play the guy. Very next play, he let the guy have a three. He said he was 8 feet off. I said, remember Kentucky, don't you? He said, yeah, I got you. I just didn't think he would even consider taking it. I said, why? Kentucky takes it, they won't take it? And he just, Ray and Deng right now just have so much to learn. They're in the wrong spots a lot. Donovan's picked it up a lot quicker. But Ray gets his hands on so many balls, he can be a lethal weapon at times. So we just got to get them learning the system right now because we're struggling with learning what to do.
You mentioned Donovan. What does he bring to you guys when he's on the floor? He just seems like he just makes you better.
Yeah, he's a special basketball player because the only time I was upset at him, he started pointing from half court again. No, he actually pointed from the other team's bench about the lob. And a fifth-year senior, like I told him, I said, if a bird flies across the gym, you're going to throw it to the bird because he's pointing? And he just threw it up, and for no rhyme or reason. Trey's got to know better, but Donovan's got to stop doing that. He's got to stop pointing. Outside of that, he was brilliant tonight.
Were you pretty pleased with the offense overall? It wasn't your assist numbers aren't what they were, but they're better defensive teams you've been playing.
I think that Damian and Trey forced things too much tonight. And that's why assist total. If they would have thrown the ball inside more and cut off him, the greatest thing about Nanu, he enjoys passing more than scoring. So he'll get guys shots. They don't throw him the ball enough. And they would have scored more points if they would throw it inside more.
Coach, for Nanu, it seemed like he was able to go up and challenge shots, but didn't get, he was able to be active without picking up fouls. Is that just a verticality thing, or how was he able to?
Well, I think he stayed in his plane. He blocks a lot of jump shots, too. I think he's just getting a lot better. I know you didn't see it tonight, but Mats is getting a lot better. He was usually I put Anis in, but Thomas last year in the film really hurt Anis, really hurt him. So I played Mats. And Mats is going to have to, against physical post players, play that spot because he rebounds in traffic much better than Anis.
Is that probably the best thing about not having that was the fact that Mats gets a little bit more time there?
Yeah, if you look for a silver lining, you would do it. But right now I'd love to have Mango back if we could. But he'll be back for that rough stretch in February.
Talk about this week and the 2 road games coming up next 2.
Well, as you know, it's very tough to win on the road, as NC State just went through it with Virginia Tech. When the talent rises, like in the Big East, this has now become what we were in the Big East when you had 11 teams in the tournament. And the Big East is still very strong, but now the bottom teams have come up when they were down. Wake Forest, Florida State, Georgia Tech, Clemson. Georgia Tech played Carolina to the wire on the road. Clemson wins on the road. Clemson wins at home. Virginia Tech wins at home. So there's no longer any victories anymore where you can say, well, we can pencil that in. I mean, the fans may think that Wake Forest, but after all the films we watched, we knew this would be a war tonight. I wouldn't give you a seat, Jeff?
No. Too late, I guess. So many people. The last 2 games you guys played that were close, your players talked about finishing strong and holding teams off. What do you think they did?
Well, I think they played good defense and made their free throws. I'm not going to I always give credit where credit's due. Kentucky made some very long shots in that game, and you got to give them credit. Prior to that, they weren't shooting very well from the 3. You got to give them credit for winning the game. We really didn't beat ourselves in that game. They won the game. I thought against Michigan State we beat ourselves by making poor rotations on defense.
Anything else, Coach?
Thank you.